Hello, everybody. Oh, golly. It is humid out here, but which makes it a little hard for me to breathe, but I am so tired of being stuck in the house. How are you doing? That should be my first response. I'm going to read, as I promised, the second half of chapter 11 from The Search. There is a link. I'm going to put it right up here in this little eye here or here, whichever side it's on. And you will be able to link to that playlist and get the whole from chapter 1. They are in a canyon following Shepherd. It's full of all kinds of nasty stuff. Leaving the meadow, the air seemed filled with a sense of foreboding and the smells of rotting vegetation and death. Shepherd picked up a long stick that he used to explore anything that looked dangerous or shadowed in the darkness. They could hear the sticks crunching under their feet. They felt odd to Sheridan, and she reached down and picked one up. She stopped and dropped it back on the ground. "What was that?" Diggory asked. It was a human femur. A creature jumped out of the bush as soon as Shepherd whacked a dying plant. It snarled at them with an almost human growl. The voice reminded her of the hiss of a cat, but it spat acid so strong it seared something in their path. The creature was almost 2 feet tall, with a badger-like head. Its feet and hands resembled a human's, except the digits twisted like those of a bramble bush. The beast's belly was sunken. It reached onto the ground, grabbing a piece of skeletal remains, and ate it like it was soft bread. Sheridan's stomach turned over. She was so shaken, Diggory grabbed her around the waist and steadied her. She could feel the young man shaking almost as much as she was. "Back off, Zaff, or you will kneel before me," Shepherd said with an emphasis on the word kneel. "Shepherd, this is not anywhere near Nebraska, is it? Have we died? Are you leading us through some hell cave?" Sheridan asked as the tears ran down her face. She wasn't crying. The stench of death made her eyes water. "No, we are not in Nebraska." Shepherd moved closer, putting a friendly arm around Sheridan's shoulder. "You are not dead, and I am leading you out of this hellish canyon." Sheridan wanted to stop, but it was out of the question. She didn't look back because she knew the awfulness that was there. Confused, she continued to follow. "What do you mean by that?" she whined. "You must trust me." "We have been," Diggory broke in, agitated, and moved closer to Sheridan as if to protect her from Shepherd. "You asked me back in the clearing to help you by trusting you and helping Sheridan through this canyon. I'm not so sure I was smart to agree." "Diggory, follow me and you will get your answers. I am protecting you both. These creatures can't harm you as long as I am with you. We will make it through. The bone you found, Sheridan, was from someone who thought they didn't need me. I am the guide who gets you through." The idea of going forward without knowing what was ahead almost paralyzed the woman. Would he be able to protect them from the evils on the journey? Just take us back to Hidden, Sheridan pleaded. Sheridan, Shepherd soothed. You have given me more trust than your friend, because of the trust Vida has in me. She would still ask that you trust me even here. But she's never been beyond the meadow. How can you be so sure? Sheridan heard herself whining like a child, clearing her throat. Her voice deepened to a natural pitch. Why would she trust you to take her into this dark canyon? Because Vida knows me well and has trusted me for a long time. She trusts me completely. I swear the two of you sound like lovers, Sheridan giggled. Shepherd smiled. We do love each other, Sheridan. We love each other as lifelong friends love one another. I cannot take you back to Hidden. We must move on a little faster so we aren't caught in here after nighttime. Okay, Sheridan sighed and shook her head. I will have to trust you. I can't do anything else. Diggory's silence caused Sheridan to look up at her companion. He shrugged his shoulders. As they continued on their way, they felt the crunching of charred bones, dead branches, and fallen rocks under their feet. Every few feet, another acid-spitting creature like Zeph would hiss, and as it shrank away from a mere glance from Shepherd. He obviously had a frightening authority over the evils. Sheridan was amazed at how fast her fright dissipated. With each encounter, it became more obvious they were under Shepherd's protection. Diggory gripped her loosely until both were walking beside each other, arms swinging. It was odd, that lack of fear, especially under the circumstances. She felt she should at least be a little alarmed and ready for that what might be ahead. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. What was that? Diggory asked. Grandmother used to quote that to me all the time. Before Sheridan could answer, Shepherd continued, For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. It is from Psalm 23, dear friend. It's a favorite of many. It seems to fit this place. I'm not afraid of the dark ugliness of it. Not now, anyway. Sheridan dropped her voice. Did you feel it, Dig? Did you feel the fear melt away? I guess I kind of did, now that you mention it. Maybe it's because of our fearless leader. Sheridan couldn't decipher Diggory's tone. He seemed sincere, but his attitude waxed hot and cold since she'd met him. He had lost so much in his young life. Her mother used to tell her that no matter how bad you think you have it, someone has it worse. She'd resented that idea at the time. Now she understood. Whoops! Sheridan, you better come back to earth and watch your step, Diggory said as she stumbled over a root at her feet. Thank you, Diggory. Her breathing quickened as she thought about what she could have fallen on. Shepherd, how can you walk on all this with bare feet? Don't the sharp rock and rubbish cut your feet? Don't worry about my feet, Sheridan. They're used to being exposed. You should be more concerned with watching where you step, as Diggory said. The rugged canyon was deep, with sharp rock cliffs on each side. If not for the width, it would have been a crevice instead of a canyon. The darkness seemed to lighten as they walked, and then close back in behind them. A glow emanated from Shepherd that Sheridan could only equate with an odd species of fluorescent fish in the deepest parts of the ocean. "No way," Diggory exclaimed. "How did you do that?" "Hello, Az," Shepherd greeted someone or something. "These two aren't for you." Sheridan felt a tap on her shoulder as Diggory drew her attention to a shadowy figure winging around the edge of the glow. It never attempted to come closer, and Sheridan thought it must be able to exist only outside the light. "What is that, Shepherd?" She pointed to the figure. A very low, gurgling voice echoed back. "I know I don't take these. I just like to walk along beside you when I can. Shepherd, I don't often get a chance to walk in my work. There are so many sad souls to carry." Shepherd chuckled, looking at Sheridan and Diggory. "There is no reason to fear Az. He doesn't have the bite or hate evils do. He just does his work. He must have some time between souls today. I've been bringing a few through every wee bit, but a walk with you is always welcome." The shadows stopped moving above them. "I hear death's bells. I must answer the call of the bells." The shadowy figure disappeared. "I don't think I want to meet Az alone," Sheridan whispered. "Az carries souls to their destination," Shepherd chimed in. "He's not a fearful creature. He's a sad one." "I assume you're talking about souls people are done with," Diggory growled at Shepherd. "This is more than weird. I'll be glad to be out of this canyon. I'm not comfortable knowing you're friendly with a death shadow." "Az isn't death. He is only the carrier of souls. He isn't like the evils. They are fearful only to those who refuse to let me guide them." Shepherd didn't say any more. "That's the only answer you have for us?" "I didn't hear a question. Are you asking me a question or making an accusation?" "Okay, well, then I'm asking you to explain all of this, from hidden to wherever this path goes. Back there with that acid-spitting thing, I would have said you are good. But just now, with that creature floating in the shadows, I'm not sure. Which is it?" "I would think you would be able to answer that by now, Diggory. I assure you, I am of the good." Sheridan was amazed at Shepherd's calm. Why wasn't he angry, like she would be, even if she partially agreed with Diggory? He was pushing Shepherd. "That's an odd way to say it, but I'm glad. You're a good guy," Diggory mocked. Sheridan nudged Diggory again, whispering, "Dig, quit trying to agitate him. He's done nothing to put us in danger, and I feel safe with him, even if this ugly canyon with its terrifying things." "Ah, we are at the end of the canyon, my followers. Now we will go to the mountain," Shepherd announced. Sheridan wondered if he'd heard her. The path became smoother as it led upward out of the canyon and its darkness. The three travelers walked easily up the grade without a single stone underfoot. The glow around Shepherd dissipated as the light of the sun lit their way. Sheridan considered the path and its easy grade. She looked upward, and they were nearly at the top of what she would have called a hill. They came to a clear spot with a nice flat area. "I think we should spend the night here," Shepherd announced. "Now that I have no argument with." Diggory stretched his arms out and swayed his back like releasing the stress of a twisted rubber band. Sheridan broke into the tension. "Shepherd, just out of curiosity, how far is the mountain? This is a hill." Shepherd looked at her with a softness that told her he knew she was not challenging him. "We've been climbing a slight grade even within the canyon. But you are right, this is a foothill. We will go to the mountain tomorrow." There were flat rocks, as in the meadows, so they sat. It was amazing how comfortable they seemed for stone. Maybe it simply felt better than being on their feet, walking on bones and stones, Sheridan thought. "Shepherd, how do you explain the fish back there? I don't understand catching salmon in a lake like that. They generally come from the ocean and swim upstream in freshwater rivers to spawn, right?" Diggory continued, trying to trip up Shepherd. "Normally." "Is there something leading into that lake?" "It doesn't seem to have much of a current, and it looks landlocked. I figured it was spring-fed." "It is spring-fed and abundantly stocked with all kinds of fish." "Do you mean we could pull out trout, catfish, salmon, or whatever out of that lake?" "I can't fathom that. It doesn't make sense. I mean, salmon have to spawn, don't they?" "You limit life so much. Haven't you ever hoped for the impossible? With all you're experiencing here, why would you doubt? Why don't you believe that I could put my hands into the lake and pull out an eel?" Shepherd spoke gently to Diggory. "Now you're making a fool of me." Diggory turned to look at their female companion. "Sheridan, I think you should stay closer to me. This guy just came out of the loony bin." "Diggory, you are so full of pain. You have lost faith. You believe that Catch is a sorcerer, but you don't believe I am capable of miracles?" Shepherd challenged Diggory for a change. "Take a look behind you," Shepherd commanded. As they did, they saw 3 small tents surrounding a fire. Sheridan felt safer than in her church. She knew Diggory would come to understand in time. After a supper of wild rabbit, watercress, and from a stream nearby, and wild berries, they tucked away in their tents. "Sheridan," she heard the sweet male voice of Shepherd calling. "Yes?" "Sheridan, find me and find the treasure of the Lunas flower." "Where?" "When?" Shepherd replied. "When?" "As you found the light in the darkness, you will also find the Lunas flower." Sheridan sat up and opened the entrance of her tent. She saw Shepherd stoking the fire at least 15 feet away. She scratched at the flap of Diggory's tent. "What?" Diggory threw open the flap of his tent. "Oh, Sheridan, it's you." "I must have fallen asleep. I thought I heard my grandmother yelling at me and scratching on my door." He paused for a moment. "Funny, she never scratched at my door. Anyway, what's up?" "Did you hear that voice? I thought it was Shepherd whispering to me outside my tent, but he's way over there." She pointed to where Shepherd was stoking the fire. "Maybe you fell asleep and dreamed it. I'm not surprised we have weird dreams after that canyon." Perhaps Sheridan didn't argue with him, but she knew what she'd heard. And that is the end of chapter 11. If you want to know about what this Lunas flower and who catch and all these things are, you need to go back and listen to the first parts, or get the book and read them. It all comes together, but you need to have the full experience. So if you've already gone back and started listening and listened to the rest of the chapters, now you're up to date. So thank you for listening. We'll be back tomorrow with the puppets. Tomorrow's their day, so we'll see you then.